There's a question my Cleveland Browns have to answer. Is Shedeur Sanders a franchise quarterback? Now, he was just named Rookie of the Week by the NFL. Threw for 364 yards. He accounted for 4 touchdowns, where he rushed for one. He threw for three. Three amazing touchdowns. One to Jerry Jeudy, about 60 yards, and then two to his tight ends in the corner. Tight window throws, gotta have it, corner throws, perfect placement on all three of those touchdowns. So the question remains, is Shedeur Sanders a franchise quarterback for the Cleveland Browns? If you were to ask pundits like Stephen A. Smith, they would have you believe that Shedeur Sanders has the high talent out of Cleveland. Now, as a Cleveland Browns fan, I personally don't want Shedeur Sanders to leave Cleveland. I would rather have Shedeur Sanders as our franchise quarterback. And I've been a Shedeur Sanders fan since his time in Colorado. I thought the Cleveland Browns, they should have selected him with the second overall pick. And then we wouldn't have any of this jazz about him going in the fifth round. Now, I don't want to get into what happened in the draft. I want to move forward. Is Shedeur Sanders a viable option to be the Cleveland Browns franchise quarterback? Why not? This is the Cleveland Browns. All right, this is the same franchise who started quarterbacks like Deshaun Kaiser, Johnny Manziel, Brandon Whedon, Brady Quinn, guys like that. The list goes on, man. Guys like Spurgeon Wynn, blast from the past, Colt McCoy, Josh McCown, Cody Kessler, quarterbacks like that. And you're really asking me, DTR, you're really asking me, can Shedeur Sanders be a franchise quarterback for the Cleveland Browns after I rattled off a lot of unforgettable names that you would only know if you are a hardened and real Browns fan like myself? The answer is unequivocally yes. Why wouldn't he be? Everybody that the Cleveland Browns have had outside of Baker for the past 10 seasons, they've all been terrible. Now, Kevin Stefanski, he was trying to parade that Shedeur's a fifth round pick. He was trying to parade the whole summer that he's not quite ready to play. He's not better than Dylan Gabriel. I mean, it's just crazy. And then people are trying to double back and be like, well, actually, Kevin Stefanski, he deserves some credit for the maturation process of Shedeur Sanders. I think not. I would think that and believe more that Deion Sanders had more to do with the maturation of Shedeur Sanders than Kevin Stefanski has ever had. Kevin Stefanski's just reaping the benefits because I don't even want to think about this scenario, but his job might be saved if Shedeur is able to have a magical 4-game run to help Kevin Stefanski out. But I don't know if Jimmy Haslam will see it that way. But I do know one thing. I would like him, Shedeur Sanders, Mr. Legendary himself, to be my team's franchise quarterback. And when he said, I'm what y'all been looking for, when he said that, I was like, yes, you are definitely what we've been looking for as Cleveland Browns fans. I mean, he's bringing excitement to these last 4 games. If it was anybody other than Shedeur Sanders, who is the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, do you think there will be any interest of these last 4 games for the Cleveland Browns? No. The second most Googled athlete in the world in 2025. No, my bad. The first athlete. He was number 1 search athlete, the second overall in the entire world overall. So that just tells you the type of cachet that Shedeur Sanders has. It's a big deal when his name is brought up and his name is just mentioned. He's a popular guy. He's very polarizing. You either love him or you're a hater. But back to the main question. Can Shedeur Sanders be my Cleveland Browns franchise quarterback? Why not? What other option does the Cleveland Browns have? You can roll out Deshaun Watson in 2026. Objectively, nobody wants to see that. Come on, man. Don't do that to us. Please don't do that to us, Jimmy Haslam. I mean, that would be the cruelest trick you can play on a Cleveland Browns fan, is to roll out Deshaun Watson. He's going to be on the roster, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to play any games. And if Shedeur goes out, he balls out the last 4 games. Like, why wouldn't you bring Shedeur Sanders back? I don't get all of this notion, all this noise about the Cleveland Browns need to select a quarterback high. Why would you select a quarterback that's not better than Shedeur Sanders, and you got Shedeur Sanders on a cheap contract? So that's what a lot of people are not bringing up. You have Shedeur Sanders for 4 seasons at a little over $1 million per season. So you're willing to give that up. A very cheap contract to get you from up under the Kevin Stefanski error, ERROR, and also the Deshaun Watson error, ERROR. Play on words there. You get from up under those two, you bring in a coach that actually rocks with Shedeur, who actually have confidence in Shedeur and instill in him that you are our franchise quarterback going forward. Why wouldn't the Cleveland Browns? The Cleveland Browns have been vastly irrelevant. This is a chance for you to be relevant. Why would you trade him away? That makes 0 sense. If you're Jimmy Haslam, just from a purely business standpoint, what sense does it make for you to realistically trade Shedeur Sanders away? You got Shedeur Sanders for a bargain discount. So why are people like Stephen A. Smith and others trying to get Shedeur Sanders so why are they pushing this narrative? Even Cleveland media, who's toxic ASF, why are they trying to get Shedeur out of Cleveland? It just makes no sense. It's super nefarious. Like, the fans in Cleveland and all the Cleveland Browns fans around the world, we love Shedeur. Why would we want Shedeur going anywhere else? Okay? I'm just saying. And plus, Shedeur Sanders, the Cleveland Browns, nobody wanted Shedeur Sanders except the Cleveland Browns. That has to be a caveat in this whole entire thing. Nobody wanted Shedeur. Why would you leave with somebody else? The Cleveland Browns, they brought Shedeur Sanders to the dance. Leave with the girl that you came with to the dance. Why are you going to ship the girl that you brought to the dance over to somebody else? She's the girl you're supposed to marry. And that's what the Cleveland Browns and Shedeur Sanders, they are married. And I know he said, if I'm here, I'm here. If I'm not, I'm not. And I truly understand what he's saying. He hears the noise. He doesn't know if his coach is going to be here next year. And he understands that he's a 5th-round pick. He understands fully. But if he goes out and does what he's supposed to do, and that's ball out over these next 4 games, I don't think there's going to be a scenario where Jimmy Haslam is like, I'm a smart businessman. Why would I get rid of somebody that brings in a lot of money to me and also that's popular with the fan base, as opposed to a coach who's not popular with the fan base and people are really over? I mean, it's been 6 years of Kevin Stefanski, and we suffice to say as Browns fans, we over Kevin Stefanski. And I think it's safe to say most Browns fans are over Kevin Stefanski, but we would also like to see more Shedeur Sanders. So talk to any Browns fan. I say 85 to 90% of Browns fans, they would love Shedeur Sanders to be the franchise guy and also the QB1 going into 2026. But it's the Cleveland Browns, and they just they're going to do whatever they do, man. Hopefully Shedeur Sanders is in their plans, and I do believe he is our franchise quarterback for the foreseeable future, the next 10 years. All right, that's all I have right now. Like and subscribe to KSK Sports. I'm rolling out. Peace.